Hello everyone, I'm Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review this new documentary, The Last Sermon. And this is an early screener that I got. This comes out in December. And this is I'm going to say this is going to become a very controversial film, and it's a very emotionally charged film. Now, the basic idea of this is Jack Baxter, who is a filmmaker who was filming a documentary about a club in Tel Aviv, was involved in a terrorist attack, suicide bombing, which almost killed him, killed others there. And this is basically his journey through Europe, going to, say, refugee camps and mosques and interviewing different people and getting their perspectives on Islam and Islamic fundamentalism and terrorism. And I feel like he's a little too close to the issue because it gets really, really emotionally charged and really, it's so emotionally charged that it's hard to see what the point of the film is because it's driving on such raw emotion. And I feel like there's some unethical things that he does, but it's interesting and builds a lot of tension. So if that's his goal and trying to get a very emotional response to this film, he achieves it. Because there's some really uncomfortable moments, really tense moments. He interviews this couple in Eastern Europe who are extremely Islamophobic. And it's hard to watch the interview. There's just so much hate in the space. And this film, it's like you can tell he has a passion for this. His passion is music. And he gets in these confrontations, and I felt like I was watching a Michael Moore documentary on how intensely and aggressive and just off the walls this documentary can get, because it doesn't really follow a lot of journalistic groundwork and guidelines. It just kind of goes for it, and where it could be shocking and engrossing and a hell of a ride to watch, I also felt a little uncomfortable with where this documentary goes. And up until the very last moments where this gets really emotional and you start to really see the space that this filmmaker is in, it's hard to watch. And I'm not quite sure that this film was very ethically made in many ways, but I feel like it does bring a lot of messages of talking to imams who are talking about what Islam's really about, and that love and understanding and peace, versus what many Muslim fundamentalists who do suicide bombings, they have such a very different perspective. And it's really hard to sit here and watch this documentary and really see through the really biased and charged scope and framing of this documentary coming from the filmmaker and some of the people that he interviews. So if you really want a really impassionately charged documentary to watch, check out The Last Sermon. If you're hoping for something a little more informative and ethically made and from that kind of standpoint, this might be hard for you to watch and to accept as something that's really meaningful. So definitely something to watch. Made me feel a lot of ways. And in many ways it kind of felt like, this is a weird comparison, but kind of felt like a Borat film at some points, of just letting people with so much hatred just go off on camera. And it's uncomfortable to watch, but it's the truth. And how this film was made might not be the best, and in terms of the framing from the filmmaker's perspective on how things are portrayed in this film might not be the best, but it's very eye-opening. So it's definitely a must-watch documentary. So I would suggest go check out The Last Sermon. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.